my name is Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads. This is the video tutorial for the Cozy Cottage Hat, and what I'm going to use for that is an eye, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need scissors, and this is a great project to just use up some of your old yarn that you have left over from other projects. So that's what I'm doing with this. This is some sort of gray that seems to be some kind of medium weight yarn. I'm not sure what it was. I don't have the ball band for it anymore. And then I'm going to use the Premier Just Yarn worsted. This colorway is Petal. So if you were interested in that same color, this hat requires the two colors. So for the sake of my hat, I'm going to label the gray as color A and the petal as color B. So we're going to start with color A, and to start we're going to put 11 double crochets into a magic ring. So the way I do my magic ring, I have the circle as if I was going to do a slip stitch, and I pull up the yarn for a slip stitch, but instead of pulling it tight, I just leave it loose. Now, some people go right into the stitch when they go into their magic ring, but I like to chain first to give it that definition as to where we're starting and stopping. So I'm going to chain 2 and then put 11 double crochets into this magic circle, pull tight, and attach with a slip stitch to the first double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and go around and do the 11, and then we'll come back. So if you'd like to pause to do your 11, that's great. Okay, here's where we left off, and I did say to attach with a slip stitch to the first one, but really we're going to undo that slip stitch because we're going to change color. So instead of bringing up the gray, we're going to take the next color, which my color B is pink. You don't have to use the same colors as me, but it's Petal. We're just going to make a loop here. So I'm going to go into the first double crochet that I made in that round, bring up a loop of the color B, and pull it through, and then pull it tight. And what we're going to do is cut the gray, because now we're going to be using the pink, the petal. Okay, you want to make sure you have the long end of the yarn and you're not trying to work with the short end. So what we're going to do is chain 2, and we're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch around. I'm kind of putting the tails into at least the beginning couple of stitches, just so that nothing pulls out. It kind of holds all the stitches a little bit tighter there. So there's 2 in that first. Sometimes people will say increase. That's what I mean. You're going to put two double crochets into each stitch from the row below. You'll end up with 22 double crochets. Okay, so I have enough of the tail caught in that I think that it's going to stay in place. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 double crochets in each of the rest of the stitches around to bring me to 22, and then come back. Okay, I've come all the way around. We're going to switch colors again. So I'm going to go into the first stitch, draw through a loop of the color A, and slip stitch through. So now I'm going to cut the petal, cut color B. And we're going to chain 3. Put a double crochet into the first stitch. I'm going to catch this. And then we're going to look in between these 2 double crochets that are in the 1 stitch. We're going to go down and put another double crochet into that stitch, but draw it all the way up. A double crochet. So in between the 2, you can see here we had 2 in the 1 stitch. In between is going to go a double crochet all the way down. You can see how it has these strings that are brought up. And then in the very next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets, like an increase. From here on out, we're going to skip the first double crochet, go down and do a double crochet into the row below, in between the 2 double crochets, and then put an increase or 2 double crochets into the second double crochet of that increase. We're going to skip the next double crochet. Move my scissors out of the way. And we're going to double crochet down into the row below, in between the increase. And then you're going to put 2 double crochets into that second double crochet of the increase from the row below. I hope this is making sense. We're going to repeat this pattern around. I'll show the pattern to you one more time, and then we'll finish the row on our own, or the round on our own. If you need to go back and double check, feel free to do that. Skip the first double crochet in this last round's increase. Go down a row, round. I keep saying row, but this is really a round. And then put an increase or 2 double crochets into that second double crochet of the increase from the round below. Okay, I'm going to pause here so that we can finish our round. Don't join up yet. When we come back, I'll tell you what to do. Okay, I'm here to the last set of double crochets, so I'll put 2 double crochets in this last one. And we're going to join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet, keeping the same color. And for the next round, the pattern is to chain 3, put 1 double crochet in the first 2 stitches, so 1 in that one, 1 in the next one. And then on the next stitch, you're going to do an increase or put 2 double crochets into that stitch. And that's the pattern we're going to do around. I'll do it a couple more times with you, and then we'll pause and finish the round. Excuse me. 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. I'll show you one more time. 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochets into the next. Repeat this around. If you would like to get a head start, we are going to change colors for the next round. So when you come all the way around, when you attach with a slip stitch to the first one, you're going to attach with your color B. I forgot to mention before you finish the round. You're going to end with 1 stitch, and you're going to put 2 double crochets into that last stitch. And then we're going to now switch color. All right, I got a little bit ahead of myself. I already chained 3, so go ahead and chain 3 with your color B. And we are going to, I'm going to try and catch the tails as I'm doing this. Right below where you put color B, where the very first of that pattern that we did last round, where it's 1, 1, 2, meaning there's 1 double crochet in this stitch, 1 double crochet in this stitch, and then an increase in the next stitch. Right in between there, we're going, right before you get to the first one, we're going to go 2 rows below. It is actually right in that stitch where that starts. And you're going to put 3 double crochets into that stitch. And then we're going to start the pattern. The first double crochet of that pattern, where it's double crochet, increase, the very first one, you're going to put 2 double crochets into that one. And increase. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then right in the middle of the increase, where that increase is where we're going to put the next 3. So it'll be 3 double crochets into that middle, in between that increase. Pulled out. Okay, and then you're going to skip the second increase, and then look for that pattern again, the pattern where it's 1 double crochet by itself, 1 double crochet by itself, and then the increase. We're going to do what we just did in the very first 1 double crochet. We're going to put 2, which means we're skipping the second from the increase. We're going to put 2 double crochets into that stitch, and then skip 2 stitches, and then go in between the increase stitches and put 3 double crochets from below, from down here. And then you're going to skip the second stitch from that increase. We're going to look for that pattern again of 1 by itself, 1 by itself, and then the increase. And in that first 1 by itself, we're going to put 2 double crochets. Hopefully you're kind of catching on to the pattern here. So let's start here, going over the pattern. Increase in stitch number 1 of that pattern. Skip the second freestanding one, and then in between the increased one, you put 3 double crochets. And then we're going to start over. We'll skip the second stitch of the increase, and then look for that pattern again and put 2 double crochets into the first stitch, which is right here. So first, and then another freestanding, and then the increase. If you need to see that again, feel free to backtrack, but I'm going to pause here and give you a chance to pause, and we'll finish the round and then come back. All right, so the round ends with 2 double crochets in that. In our last stitch, we did 2 double crochets. We'll put 2 double crochets in the first stitch, skip the second stitch. Now we're going to attach and switch color. So I'm going to get my color A, pull through, cut color B. If you change colors a different way, feel free to do it your way. This is just the way that I learned, and so I just stick with it. For this row, we are going to chain 3, and we're going to, and I'm going to try and catch these tails, put 1 double crochet in each of the 3 from when we did 3 that go down below. So this is actually going to be a pattern. Whenever you see the 3 where we did 3 in the stitches below, you're just going to put 1 double crochet in each of those. And then when we have the 2, we're going to skip the first double crochet, go down to the row below, and pull up a double crochet, and then just do 1 stitch in the second double crochet of that. My yarn doesn't want to show that pattern. There we go. Now it's kind of behaving a little. That should be in the middle of the 2 where the increase was. So now we have 3 double crochets from where we went down, way down below. We're just going to put 1 double crochet in each of those. And then we'll skip the first double crochet of the increase, go down below and pull up a double crochet from down below, and then in the second double crochet from that increase we'll put a double crochet. Sorry if that went up a little bit high. I was looking over the camera and not through the camera for a minute. Okay, we're going to go 1 double crochet in each of those 3 stitches. This is the last time I'm going to show you the pattern, and then we're going to pause and finish the round. Skip the first double crochet of the increase, go down a row and do a double crochet, and then just 1 double crochet in the second stitch of that increase. All right, let's pause here and then go around and come back. So the last stitch you'll do is that, I think they call that a spike stitch when you go down below in between the 2 increases here. And we're going to keep the same color and join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet. Chain 3. We're going to put 2 double crochets in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the next 2. Two double crochets in the next stitch, increase, 1 in each of the next 2. We're going to continue that pattern around of increase and then singles, or just one, increase, just one, until you get all the way around. So let's pause it here and complete that and then come back. At the end of the round for the pattern, we have 2 double crochets in this stitch. We're going to put 1 double crochet in this one, 1 double crochet. We're going to skip 1, go to the next double crochet, put 1 in there, skip the last one, and then attach with a slip stitch with color B to the first double crochet. This is where we're going to start a pattern. So we're going to call this step 1. And we're going to have a repeat of the steps. So what we'll do, since I have step 1 clearly marked, I'll just say repeat steps 1 through this many times or until desired length, something to that effect. But let's go through each step. So step 1, this will be the first thing that will repeat. We're going to chain 3. This is going to look very familiar. In between the 2, we are going to put 3 double crochets down the row below. And then we're going to skip the second one from the increase. Now here's where the pattern is that we've seen this row before, but I'm going to call this row 1. There's a single double crochet, a single double crochet, and then 2 in the same stitch. On the first single crochet, we're going to, the first single double crochet, if that makes sense, the first double crochet that's just 1 in it, we're going to do an increase. We're going to skip the second double crochet, and we're going to skip the first one in the increase stitch and just go right in to the increase down below and put 3 double crochets. Skip the second double crochet of the increase, the first double crochet in the pattern of 1, 1, 2. You're going to put an increase in that first one. This is the last time I'm going to go over this pattern, and then we'll pause and go all the way around and come back. Skip the second double crochet in that pattern, and then in between the increase, we're going to go down below and put 3 double crochets in between the 2 that are in that stitch. Okay, continue following that pattern all the way around. Pause it and then come back when you're at the end of the round. Okay, the second step here, we're going to start with attaching to the first double crochet with color A. So here's step 2. For step 2, we're in chain 3. And this will be familiar because we have done this before. We're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the 3. And then we're going to skip when we get to the 2 pattern right here, the 2 double crochets together. We're going to skip the first one, do a spike stitch down below, and then just do 1 double crochet in the second of the 2 double crochets. And repeat that around. So I'll do the pattern one more time with you. There's a group of 3 and a group of 2. The group of 3 is a spike stitch. So the group of 3, we're just going to put 1 double crochet into each of the 3. And then when we get to the spike stitch, or when we get to the 2 double crochets together, I'm sorry, that was not a spike stitch. When we get to the 2 double crochets together, we're going to do a spike stitch. Go down below in between the 2 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet in the second of the 2. Continue that pattern around for step 2. This will be the last step of the repeat, step 3. We're going to join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet, which we're going to keep the same color. So we're only going to use color B for one of the 3 rows. So we're still with color A. Chain 3. You're going to put 2 double crochets and increase in the first stitch. Skip a stitch and then put 1 double crochet in each of the next 2. Skip a stitch. Do an increase here. Skip a stitch and then put 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Skip a stitch. And we're going to continue that pattern around. When you go back to step 1, you're still going to look for the stitches. You're not going to worry about any skipped stitches. You're going to pretend like the skipped stitches don't even exist. So remember, the pattern is to do 3 double crochets in between the increases, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch, skip a stitch, and then keep repeating that around. You're just going to keep doing that based on the stitches, not on anything that you've skipped from the row before. So those are the 3 stitches, or the 3 steps that you're going to do. We're going to repeat those 3 steps until either the hat is the length that you want, or until it's where you would want it to end and put a ribbing on. I'm going to put a ribbing on the end of mine. So continue the hat to the length that you want. If you don't want a ribbing, just keep going as long as you want it to be. If you want to put a ribbing on the edge, then stop the hat right around the top of your ear. You're going to cover a slight bit of the top of your ear, and then we'll put the ribbing on. So I'm going to pause here, you pause here, build it up, and then we'll come back for the ribbing. If you're not putting ribbing on, then thank you for watching. All right, here's about how much this is how much I've done, not about, this is how much I've done. It comes about down past the tips of my ears. And now I'm going to start the ribbing. I have found that this is a little bit loose for me, this hat. So I'm going to chain 3. This round, if you think that the hat is fitting you perfectly, you just put 1 double crochet in each stitch around. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a decrease, and then I'm going to double crochet the next 10 stitches, and then I'm going to decrease, put 10 stitches in, decrease. And I don't know if that's going to work out evenly or not, but wherever it ends, it ends. So if I decreased here and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left, then I'm just going to do a decrease and then 4 stitches. But like I said, if this hat is fitting you well, and if you've tried it on and it doesn't feel loose, then just keep going with putting 1 double crochet in each stitch around. But if you feel like it's a little bit loose, then you can feel free, based on how loose you think it is, to decrease in a few stitches. So I'm going to finish putting my double crochets around and then come back and show you the next round. All right, to make the ribbing, I'm going to chain 3. And it's, if you're familiar with front post, back post, then that's what we're going to do, is alternate front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way around. If you're not familiar, front post is when you can see the double crochet right here, and you're going to bring the post forward. So instead of going into the stitch where you normally would, you're actually going to go in between the stitch and bring the post forward, and then you're going to do a double crochet where the stitch is. And you can see how that pops it forward. And then back post, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to bring the crochet hook in front of the stitch. It's popping out in the back. and you're going to do a double crochet through there. I'll do it one more time to show you. Front post, you go right here and bring the post forward, and then do a double crochet there. Back post, you go behind the stitch. You're going to bring the crochet hook to the front, pushing the stitch back in the back, and do a double crochet there. So just alternate that back and forth, and then we'll come back for the next round. Okay, so now we're just going to repeat what I'm going to show you now until the hat is your desired length. So you're going to chain 3, and then for every front post double crochet, you're going to put another front post double crochet in there, and then the next stitch will be back post double crochet. So you're always going to put the front posts with the front posts and the back posts with the back post. It gives it this really nice ribbing. So I'll show you one more time. Put a front post double crochet in the front post double crochet. See how nicely that is? And then the second one goes in a little bit, causing the ribbing. And then the second round, or the second stitch, do a back post double crochet. Continue that around. If you would like even more rows than this, then add more rows doing it the same way, always putting front post stitches together and back post stitches together. I'll come back and show you how mine looks on me. And here's how the Cozy Cottage hat turned out. It's exactly the way that I like it. I like to have it so that my ears are fully covered. In the winter, when it gets chilly, I don't like having my ears exposed. And I also like the thicker ribbing on mine. Now, this is all a matter of personal preference. If you wanted to have less ribbing, you could make the hat come down longer and then do just less ribbing. If you wanted no ribbing at all, you could just continue the pattern all the way down. And once you get to the ribbing, if the hat's slightly larger, make sure that you do the decreases like I showed. And it should be a good fit, you know, as long as you're measuring as you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I love doing tutorials. So if you check out my other ones, let me know what you think, and be sure to subscribe and like. Have a great day. Bye.